Giving you story after story, everything is true. Some things are kinda scary, so what you gonna do? Cause that's another tale from the Sipp. That's another tale from the Sipp. Sometimes we spit scripture, line upon line, not discussing wickedness, but what is divine. And
yes sir, yes sir. Tales from the Sipp. Yes sir, yes sir. Tales from the Sipp, episode 73, part 8 of my testimony. Yeah, let's get into it. Now, so after I got out of jail, I went to church. I was going to church, down there at the church I was going to. And I had sit up here as soon as I got out of jail, I went straight to the house. I shaved off my facial hairs. I shaved all the hair off my head. My hair was long as it is now. You know what I'm saying? But I was wearing braids then. This was back in 2003. You know what I'm saying? So I wear braids. So, that was 20, what? 20, 22 years ago. Yeah. So I went before the church. I did all that, because I'm pretty much fluent with the book of Ezekiel. And Ezekiel is a special book to me. You know what I'm saying? It seems like Ezekiel was, you know, besides the book of Jonah, had the same kind of situation with it. But the book of Ezekiel was 30 years old when he was called into the ministry. He was a priest, and you know what I'm saying, he was a Levite. So, if you know what I'm saying. So, but what I'm saying is Ezekiel kind of reminded me of myself. And if you have the understanding of the scripture that every, you know, certain prophets, or what I'm saying, they at 30 years old, that's when they began to start moving. And I was 29 at the particular point. So yeah, But anyway, so I got out of there, I shaved all my hair off my face and on my head. I was bald head, naked face. Then I went to church, and then when the pastor started preaching and everything, at the end of the service, I went up there, and you know what I'm saying, I went before the church, and I said, the Most High, He's called me into the ministry, and everything like that, blah blah blah. Pastor said he seen some kind of aura on me, or light, or whatever like that. I don't know. Maybe you can, what I'm saying, maybe, somebody else, maybe you seen something like that, but I don't know. But that's what he said. So I get there, what I'm saying, doing what I got to do, study. I study in the scripture, getting in the scripture, what I'm saying. I stopped. I made a vow unto the Most High. I said, now, let's go back. I said, if you let me get off this situation, because I still was facing a DUI, part, number 2. And I said, if you let me get off this, I won't drink beer anymore. Now, this is the thing, man. I said I wouldn't drink beer and get in a car and drive and all this and that. Now, so this day, I will not get in no vehicle and drink anything and move. If I got to drive, I'm not drinking nothing. I made the Most High promise. And I want to let you know this, that whatever promise you or vow you make to the Most High, He requires you to keep it, because He takes no pleasure in fools, man. He consider you a fool. You don't keep you don't keep your vow. Now, not chasing rabbits. Let me get back to the story. So after this, I started, serving the Most High. I didn't, at that time, back in 2003, I knew some things, but I didn't know everything. And nobody knows everything. Even today, I don't know everything. But at the time, I knew the Most High had called me into the ministry, because of the things that He showed me. You know what I'm saying? So I end up, joining, I already had joined the church, and hey, I end up becoming a minister, you know, and in 2006, I got ordained as a Baptist minister. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, I was you know, in a Christian college. I started going to, start doing that. So now, still the fact, I still got that second offense DUI over my head, right? Now, let me tell you what happened with that. So one day, the thing is, I had to go to court on the DUI. Most High gave me a dream. In the dream, this old black dude was standing beside me, and he had white woolly hair. His hair was pretty, it was nice, you know what I'm saying? It's smooth, but it was woolly. It was white, it was thick, and you know what I'm saying? It was an afro. You know what I'm saying? It was light coming out of his eyes. He was a dark-skinned dude, but he was a little shorter than me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm 5'11". So you think about that. He probably 5'9", 5'10". I don't know. But anyway, he was standing beside me, because when in the dream, he was showing me that he was standing beside me in the courtroom. So I'm like, what does this mean? But when I went to court, second offense DUI, I was in the courtroom. I go, but you know how you go in there and you got to plead guilty or not guilty. So I went in there. I said, I'm pleading not guilty. The person that was the prosecuting attorney or whatever, he said, on what grounds? I said, now let me backtrack a little bit. The police that arrested me, it was a white police and a black police. I said police. It was a black police and a white police. Remember I said the two people that arrested me, it was a black police and a white police. When I was at court, I didn't see neither one of those people. So I go to the courtroom. We had the court. The first time I went to court, the judges wasn't nobody there. So they had to reschedule. Then again, I went. I'm like, why? Why am I no judge there? So I went again. And then when I was in court, I said, and I pleaded not guilty. He said, what is the grounds of you not pleading guilty, man? You know what I'm saying? I said, oh, he's not here. The police, the arresting officer not here. Now, be advised that it was two officers that arrested me, a black and a white officer. But when I got to court, neither one of them were there. I was really just focused on the white officer. But I didn't even think. To this day, I'm just thinking about what happened to the black officer. He was there too. He arrested me too. But I was focused on the white officer. So the white officer, I said, I'm pleading not guilty. He said, oh, we can call him 5 minutes, he'll be here. I said, but then I heard a voice that said, plead not guilty. Kept hearing that voice. Plead not guilty. Plead not guilty. So I stuck with that. When I got up to, you know what I'm saying, to the judge, it was 3 judges. 3 that was sitting right there, 3 white dudes in the courtroom. When they called my name and I went up there, they said, so how you wish to plead? I said, I heard my sister, my older sister. She said, plead not guilty. I heard my father, who's not alive right now. He said, plead not guilty. Then I kept hearing that voice in my head that says, plead not guilty. They were right beside me. Because in the dream, the person that was standing beside me in the courtroom, they were standing right beside me in the courtroom. I mean, you can say what you want, but I'm telling the truth. You know what I'm saying? And I know that was the Messiah. You know what I'm saying? But so I kept hearing the man plead not guilty. I almost, and then so I said not guilty. Then they said, all right, let the process proceed. You know, whatever they say. You know how it go when you in court. So I go up. So they say the judge, one of the judges say to the DA or whoever like that, he said, so who is the prosecute, the person that, brought the charges or whatever, police, arresting officer, whatever like that. You know what he said? He said, well, he quit the force. The judge looked dead at me in my eyes and said, there's nobody. He smiled. The judge, this was a white man. He smiled and said, there's nobody to that's nobody that that has any kind of criminated evidence against you. So you free to go. He smiled. Guess what everybody else did in the courtroom? Everybody in the courtroom stood up and started clapping. And before me, that was people he was saying, you got 1 year, you got 6 months, you got 2 years, $3,000 fine. All this net. All that was happening before I made up there. Now I'm showing you how good the Most High is. This is not no fake stuff, man. This is real. When I got up there, he says, there's nobody to incriminate you. There's no, so all charges are dropped. And I felt a presence of somebody standing beside me while I was in that courtroom when he said, well, ain't nobody, can't nobody say you guilty, man. The judge did this. He was smiling. All three of them were smiling. They said, can't nobody hold you guilty. You free to go. The white people in a place, let me explain to you. If you know what Florida, Mississippi is, Madison County, white people do not like black people there. But at that place, they were smiling. They said, you are free to go. Can't nobody hold you. Ain't nobody got no, can't nobody, say nothing about you, man. You free to go. Guess what? So after that, the whole courtroom stood up and started clapping. If you think I'm lying, I can bring my sister on here right now and show you that I'm not lying about it. Everybody in the courtroom just stood up and started clapping. That's how I know it was the Most High, man. And I felt the presence of him standing beside me. So I leave out the courtroom, a police, which was a bailiff or whatever like that, this black dude, he followed me out the courtroom. Man, man, I love that, man. He said, man, that's Christmas. That's Christmas. I said, yeah, that's Christ. He said, yeah. He said, yeah. So I know the Most High showed me favor in the presence of my enemies. Yes, sir. Tales from the Sipp, episode 73. Be on the lookout for episode 74. Episode 73, My Testimony, part 8. Yes, sir. Be on the lookout. Part 9, My Testimony, episode 74. But until next time, peace out. Yes, sir.
That's another tale from the Sipp. That's another tale from the Sipp. Sometimes your boy may go way back in the day, talk about experiences and the games that he played. And that's another tale from the Sipp. That's another tale from the Sipp. Hey.